video. First of all, I would just like to apologize because my camera right here has the worst ever mark on it, and it has been appearing more and more, but I feel like today it's extra bad. I don't know if it's where I'm sitting or what, but yes, the camera is overdue with getting fixed. The lens cap is broken, so this is why my screen is scratched and there's this giant mark. But anyway, that is all, so let's start today's video. Solo travel in India. Solo travel as a female in India. So anyone who knows me knows that I really love India. From landscape, food, beautiful people here, the culture, and that is, yeah, everywhere you go is just so different, and I love different parts of it so much for such different reasons. India will always have a really special place in my heart, and I feel like I'm just home here. It's really nice. But I feel like in India there's a place for everyone, whether it be from, yeah, sitting next to the Ganga in the Shanti mountains, or like living the big city life in Mumbai, to the beaches in Goa and living happy life. Yeah, there is a place for everyone. Like in India, different countries, the different regions are like traveling to different countries, and they're incomparable. They're all really different. And I know there are so many horror stories out there that you hear in the news, and this is the reality. But also this is the reality for so many countries, and definitely no reason not to visit, in my opinion. The beauty and the lovely experiences and the lovely people far outweigh the bad. And yeah, if you're using your common sense and following your intuition and these things, then you're staying as safe as you can, and it can only ever be as okay as it is going to be. So I'm sure you're going to have an amazing time, and I'm really excited for you if you are planning on coming to India. I would also just quickly like to mention how much of a fucking privilege it is to be traveling, and especially in India you meet so many people who just dream, they don't even dream about leaving India because they just don't even see it as a possibility. Obviously it's not always easy, you see things that are going to break your heart 10 times over. Just travel with an open heart and open mind, and know how lucky you are to even be traveling here. Like, when something doesn't go right, or if you are having a little bit of a bad experience, then try your best to remember this. And yeah, I cannot stress this enough. So I'm sharing 10 tips today on solo travel in India, and here are my tips for you. Number 1, confidence is key. If you're walking around looking confused, you keep looking down at your phone, or like looking nervous at all, then it's most probably likely that people are going to try and approach you. Obviously most people, like most people in the world, they're kind and they've got good intentions, but it is key, especially when traveling solo, to just act as though you know where you're going and you know what you're doing, so that you aren't bothered by these people who are trying to sell you things or trying to rip you off and take all your money. And yeah, this is definitely going to be in the tourist areas where you're most probably going to be looking around and hanging out. You know, there's the people like drivers and shopkeepers, tour guides, people who aren't actually tour guides pretending to be tour guides, or I don't know, in India here actually the tour guides are just locals wanting to make some money who know the area, who can actually show you around quite nicely. But yeah, you get the idea. So I find that if I'm walking around with my head up and I act as though I know where I'm going, and yeah, just being confident, then people don't bother me so much. Also confidently saying no, like straight away when people do try to talk to you. It's nay in Hindi, so just say nay, and also just say nay like twice, 3 times. It's just like to emphasize it, and then they will know that you are not wanting to be bothered. It's not to say they won't still try bother you, because they will, but yeah, you get used to that too. My second tip is that just say you're always traveling with a friend. Like, even though you're traveling solo, don't let many people know that unless you're feeling super comfortable around them and you've been with them for a little while, or I don't know. I feel like you can judge that for yourself, but many people are really curious when they see you by yourself as a female here, because many Indians don't even travel by themselves, like females in India at all. So you'll get lots of random people saying hello and namaste and asking you if you're alone, which at first I thought was really creepy, like, are you alone? But what they really mean is, are you traveling solo? So they don't really have a bad intention. Well, most people don't, obviously, and again, this is in every country. I would recommend not telling people that you're just traveling solo willy-nilly here and there who you meet. So yeah, when you do meet someone who asks you if you're traveling solo, and it is usually males, because males are the ones who are out working, who are working in restaurants and shops and hanging out on the streets, they just say that you've got a friend coming, or your friend is waiting for you at this place, or yeah, my friend is here, or you've got a boyfriend, or you're married. Any of these things will do just fine. Again, it does depend on where you're going and what you're doing, but I feel like this is a really nice tip. Number 3, it is worth mentioning, I feel, because this is the most important thing you could ever do when you're traveling, is use your common sense. This to me is just all the things that you wouldn't do in your own country or any other country, just because it's India. It's a little bit hectic. There's so many things going on. You're looking at this thing, you're looking at these people, you've got 10 tuk-tuk drivers yelling at you. Just use your common sense, take a moment to breathe and make a nice calm decision. Yeah, and just stay alert. A few things that I recommend not doing, I don't know, I just thought of a few little things here that I wrote down. This is what I do as well, so not going out or staying out late at night, especially if it's somewhere with not so many tourists. In India, the touristy places are busy, but the not touristy places are really not busy. Even during the daytime you won't see many foreigners, so definitely don't be out and about in the night time. Don't take rides from strangers, no matter how friendly they seem, unless of course they are a tuk-tuk driver and you know where you're going. But yeah, don't walk with both your headphones in. It is easy to walk with your headphones in sometimes because then people don't bother you so much, but just walk with one headphone in. This is also really good because you need to be aware of the tooting and stuff, because you know the streets here aren't the safest. Well, they're actually super safe because of the tooting. Like the tooting I find not bad at all, because when I'm walking now I'm so used to it that if someone toots behind me I know that I'm there and I'm like, oh thank you, I can just squeeze out of the way slightly. Yeah, and then when people do say stuff to you, you can hear them without like fully blocking out the world. I mean, it is really good to be aware of what's going around you still. And yes, trust your intuition, trust your gut feeling. If a situation or a person seems off, or yeah, there's that feeling in you that like something's not right, just do not talk to them, do not leave yourself in this situation, just leave as soon as possible. Don't stay where you are. You get the idea. Number 4, I would like to do a whole video on this, or maybe I'll do like a whole blog post on this, but it's just about covering up and respecting the culture here in India. There are certain places obviously that you can kind of wear things slightly different. You know, I wear my tights, but I'm wearing a long top also that covers these areas, my butt. And in the south in Goa you can kind of wear whatever you like, but the rest of India you really have to be careful. And me myself, I just don't like drawing more attention to myself, even though I'm like this blonde dreadlocked girl with tattoos all over her. I don't need to be drawing more attention to myself. Cover up my shoulders and cover up my legs. I still like wearing my clothes and my personal style, so yeah, like I wear something like this, and if I have a singlet I'll just wear my little crop top over it to cover my shoulders. You can however show as much belly as you like, so if I was just wearing this it would be fine, and maybe like a loose skirt and some loose pants, because bellies in India are everywhere. You see so many women wearing saris with their bellies out and like big bellies everywhere. So belly is absolutely fine as long as you're wearing loose pants and yeah, loose top or covering. You can wear a crop top but then a scarf as well, because women wearing just the underpart, like just the little top of a sari and nothing covering her shoulders, like this is why they drape some more fabric over them. It's pretty much like them not being fully dressed, like you need to have something else over your shoulders and chest area. I hope that makes sense, but yeah, I do want to do a whole blog post about it, so I won't go into too much detail. If you want to check out my Instagram, you can see the kind of stuff that I wear and my blog posts about India as well. I think I've got some photos on there too. It's so hot, I'm hiding from the sun, but it's getting warmer and warmer. Okay, number 5. Not 10, number 5. This is just my general rule, but say no to men, especially, and boys who want selfies. It might seem kind of exciting at first, you know, you're getting all the attention from all these people that want selfies and photos with you, and it is mostly always harmless, but it is just not cool in my opinion. I mean, it is, but you just get over it. They don't want to know your name, they don't want to have a conversation with you, you know, they just want to have a photo and probably just going to go show their friends, and you just never know what else you're going to do with it. I'm sorry, but it has to be said. And yeah, the only people I do take photos with is, and this is not even all the time, sometimes I'm just like no, like I'm just trying to get from A to B, I do not want a photo, is women and children. And then I do say yes, I'm like okay, one photo, and then they end up throwing all their kids at me and we're having like a big family photo, and then someone else will see from afar and then they will come and also want photos with you. So yeah, I'm just like no, unless they look really nice. I mean, you can obviously tell who's genuine and who's not genuine, but mostly you do just get over it after a little while. And I sound like such a sad sack, but it's the truth. And I do take many photos of people, I guess because I do stand out having dreadlocks and blonde hair. But yeah, this is just my personal thing, obviously it's up to you. Hey, there's people down there now. So my 6th tip is just don't be overly friendly to people you have just met. Just don't be overly friendly to people that you don't know. As I mentioned already, you'll come across so many people who are just trying to help you or sell you things. some people who are just trying to help you, but just have to be really careful about how friendly you are. Even when you become friends with people, just remember in the back of your mind that the culture is so different here, especially if you're coming from a Western country, that you could end up in some really strange, difficult situations or having to have some really awkward conversations that you just really want to avoid. Hello puppy. Hello. There's a puppy coming to join me. Hi. You have to sit because I'm filming a video. I've had a friend who asked to get married and move into an apartment with someone, with 2 different people in the same week, and this was like some of her friends who she'd been hanging out with for a little while. And yeah, I don't want it to sound the way that it does, and not everyone is like this obviously, but you do just have to be careful. At the end of the day, you're a solo female traveller, and again, this is like every country and not only India. My 7th tip for you or your friend as a solo female traveller in India is to stay at hostels. Stay at hostels where you can meet other people and other friends and travellers that you can go on adventures with, because you want to do some like hikes and these things in some places, and you want to go like see a temple on a scooty. It's always nice to have someone to travel with, and you just feel a lot safer when you are with other people in a group especially. Also, the guest houses here can be, and hotels can be, a real hit and miss, especially in the non-touristy places. Even in the touristy places, like yeah, they might not be so busy, and then you'll definitely meet no one at all. My 8th tip is to just travel to the touristy places and the places that there are lots of foreigners, so that you do feel nice and safe. Like there's the Golden Triangle. I mean, the Golden Triangle is Agra, Delhi, Jaipur. There's lots of scams there because it is such a touristy area. India is fucking huge, so a lot of people do just come to India and travel this Golden Triangle. But yeah, there's Dharamsala, Rishikesh, Goa. These places are super safe in my opinion. As a female traveller, having gone to other places as well, I would feel really comfortable anytime going to these places. Yeah. My ninth tip for you is to always have the number of your hostel or your hotel or wherever you're staying with you. The first thing I do is try to take a photo of, but then I also take the card, because my SIM card in India, oh, get a SIM card also, bonus tip, get a SIM card so you have data. It's really cheap here. But yeah, then I put it in my phone case in the back of my phone, because then you can show your driver or show people where you want to go, at least just give the card like, I need to get to this place if something happens, or like if your phone dies, you don't know where you're going and there is a language barrier, you can give them the card. It's got the phone number on it, and if they still can't figure it out, you can get them to ring the place you're staying, and they will talk to them in Hindi or whatever their local language is, and yeah, you'll make it home. It's also worth mentioning that just because people are driving rickshaws and taxis and these things, that they don't actually know where they're going. Like so many times you say this place and they have no idea, and they stop like 100 times on the way to ask every single local for directions, and they just point them in the direction and say, yep, you're going in the right way, you're going in the right way. Yeah, so if you can ring them and get proper directions, if they don't speak very good English, then it is really good. Another thing is you can download maps.me. It's an app on iPhone. I'm pretty sure you can get it on Samsung, but I'm not 100%. It's called, yeah, maps.me. It is an app where you can actually download the map in whatever country or city you are in, and you can use it offline, which is so good. You can mark sightseeing places, food places, mark where you're staying, you can get routes to and from where you are and where you want to go, and then you can show your drivers as well. It's really good, and walk too. This is also really good because you can use this to make sure that the person you're with or is taking you from this place to this place is going in the right direction, or maybe going the shorter way, not charging you so much. Oh my gosh, more things keep coming to me now. Make sure also that you agree on a set price before you hop in a rickshaw or a taxi, yeah, so you not end up paying heaps at the other end, because you need to barter for a price first. My 10th tip is to learn a few words in Hindi. For me, it's been really handy to learn a little bit of Hindi, just really small things. How to say your name, how to say how are you, thank you, good morning, good night, just little things. So maybe I've got a really good website where you can actually learn a little bit of Hindi if you like. I will put it in the description down below for you. I will also maybe write a few little things that I've got written here, which I was going to say, but I think it's worth just writing down for you to read. Yes, one bonus tip I had for you is get a selfie stick, or like I've got my tripod. I'm always taking advanced selfies, you know, advanced selfies, like you put it on the timer and go pose. Everyone's like, how do you, who takes your photos for you? Well, it's just my timer. Fun fact, no one literally in India cares about people taking selfies, people taking videos of themselves. There's so many people here doing it, and selfies are just the biggest thing here. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, you're gonna regret not taking photos, maybe just because you care what people think of you, or you feel silly doing it with a selfie stick. Like, when you travel, you can just do whatever you like. No one knows you. That's totally cool. So yes, that is it from me. 10 tips for you or your friend or anyone you want to share this with. Share the video as a solo female traveler in India. If you liked it, then give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here so you can follow my journey. I have got so many videos of my travels here in India, so I'll link the playlist down below. You can check that out. Again, the good here far outweighs the bad. I mean, I'm so in love with India. As I said at the start of this video, anyone who knows me knows I love it so much. I'm probably going to live here long term. I was supposed to keep traveling, but I seem to have just found my home in the world for now. I love the culture, I love the people, I love the food, and yeah, it obviously depends on the type of person you are. I mean, I'm a really independent, strong person, if I don't say so myself. Again, give this video a thumbs up and please share it to anyone who you think might find some value from it. If you've got any tips yourself, then leave them down in the comments below and get a good discussion going. Yeah, thank you for watching. Namaste. See you in the next video. Bye. Hare Ganga Mahadev Sri Shankara Parvati Pati Mahadev